First of all, what is Friends of Scouting? Let me try to put it into layman's terms. All of us have occupations. All of us have key clients. All of us have, if we're salespeople, we have key accounts that we know if they go away, we're in big trouble. Okay? Friends of Scouting is the foundation. It's the most important, the largest single source of income that the Boy Scouts receive. The Utah National Parks Council is a nonprofit corporation along with 307 other councils across the country. We span from the point of the mountain, Lehigh, all the way down to the parts of Arizona, and I mean all of southern Utah, parts of Nevada and Arizona. It's one of the largest physical councils in the country, and we are the largest council in number of units, and one of the top 3 councils in total youth. So right here in Utah, we have the largest per capita concentration of scouts in the world. And the most important funding source, and the source for which we're talking about tonight, is Friends of Scouting. If you were to draw a pie chart of income sources, it's about 48% of our income. Okay, almost half. The other parts of the chart would include camping, income from camping. We have several camps. You've got Thunder Ridge here close, one of a dozen camps or so that we have. We've opened up a new one this year, Camp Typhy, because we're so full in our other camps. Activities, money, income generated from activities. Investment is one of those pieces of pie. The trading post, things we sell at the trading post. Special events, we generate some income from the rent from the scout shops. The National Scout shops pay us rent to use our facilities. So essentially those 6 or 7 things is our income source. We receive no government funds. We receive no money from the United Way. So Friends of Scouting is critical. And when we do Friends of Scouting, we need to think big picture. We're here in Cedar City. And I've lived in rural areas apart from the headquarters. And I know that there's the potential for people to think, you know, we go out and raise all this money, it all goes up to Provo and Orem, and we never see it again. Well, that's a fun thing to say, but without the money that is sent to Orem and then dished out everywhere else, we save a whole lot of money by having one scout shop, one headquarters, and we've given scout shops to other places so we can sell the things here and provide them to you and not have to get them in the mail. In the last few years, we've been able to expand the council services out to southern Utah, and we have one office where all the records are kept. So we save a lot of money doing that. Friends of Scouting supports the professional staff, it supports the development of camps, it supports the recognition, the buildings, all the infrastructure. Scouting as we know it in Utah County and in Utah Valley and in all of southern Utah would not exist as we know it today without Friends of Scouting. You look at some other countries, take England as an example. England is only serving 2% of their youth in scouting. We're serving nationwide about a quarter of our youth, 25%. So 12 times higher. What's the difference? We have professionals here. England, very few, almost no professional staff. What professionals do during the day while we're at work is further scouting. While we're out doing our job, we come home and put on our uniform and go to a scout meeting. We're unaware of what was happening during those 8 to 10 hours we were at work. Where professionals do it full time, they're creating the infrastructure, keeping scouting alive so that we can enjoy that as a volunteer. I teach fundraising at BYU. I'm the professor on campus that teaches fundraising. And having done it for 25 years professionally in my life, I've learned kind of a paradoxical thing. That when times are tough, and we're in tough times, successful nonprofits make it. Some of them even thrive. Less successful nonprofits who are reliant on maybe only one source, grant writing or others, don't do very well. And we hear stories in the news of some nonprofits that are really struggling because they had all of their marbles into government grants. Because we have several different sources of income, and because we have blocking and tackling, where we're teaching people how to do it, we've been able to survive and thrive. And we know it's a tough environment. But let me teach some of the professional fundraising principles that, if done right, can make this a lot simpler. First of all, There needs to be an asking price. Anytime you do fundraising, there's got to be an asking price. You don't just say give. There needs to be a suggested giving price. And so a pledge is a very simple thing. Instead of my wife giving a $20 bill out of the wallet, she might have signed a card that said, yeah, I'll give $200, bill me $20 a month for 10 months. And you're going to get $200 from me instead of $20. And then what usually happens, then your relationship with Friends of Scouting is over. After they turn in the pledge card to the council office, they have a full-time secretary there who has this pile of pledges. She puts them in the computer that says Brad Harris wants to be billed in March or in May after his tax return, whatever, and you simply get a reminder in the mail that says thank you for your contribution, you pledged $200, and here's your first bill. Now, some people have actually asked me, a guy asked me in my office today, he said, what happens if you don't pay your pledge? Is a person going to come to your door and is your credit rating going to be at hurt? No. This is just an agreement between you and the Utah National Parks Council. 97% of the people pay their pledges. We have a 3% pledge loss. But we raise so much more money on pledges, we can live with that. Okay? We hope that doesn't happen, but we know that it does. People lose their job or something happens and they can't pay their pledge off. But history shows and professional fundraising says if you ask for a pledge, you're going to raise more money than if just what's in their wallet. There's three things that have to happen for a gift to happen. There's 3 C's. There's got to be a capacity. We all have capacity to some degree to give, so that's a given. We know everybody has the capacity. There's got to be a connection. There's got to be a connection between you, the potential giver, and what they're asking you to give to. We all have a connection to some degree with the Boy Scouts of America, some stronger than others. So we figure that that's somewhere in place. What was missing was, the third thing is concern. You got to have a connection strong enough to where you feel a concern for that organization where you're going to give to them. That's where the pitch comes in. With the right approach to Friends of Scouting, it will help generate concern, or you already have the concern, to generate what your gift is. We use the following as kind of a model of how we ask people to give. You give based on your belief, your connection to Scouting, and your financial ability. So it's really based on your connection and your capacity. And that will determine how much you give. But there's got to be an asking price.